I want to feel bad for Dahlia Black, but I don't feel bad for Dahlia Black, the competitor. Who I do feel bad for is Dahlia Black, the person that has to exist outside of Dragula. I think it's very easy for us as the audience members to armchair psychology someone and to make excuses for them or to try and explain their behavior on a TV show. But the reality is that we don't know these people, and the parasocial relationship of a reality star versus the audience members is kind of a weird blurred line, but there is a parasocial relationship there nonetheless. People are activated outside of the show by Dollya because they know people that are like her or they themselves identify as her. And so they're going to feel polarized in a lot of different ways. However, Dollya and the cast don't owe us anything because we are not their friends. People who are dealing with impaired senses of reality, like Dollya is very clearly experiencing, is complicated to say the least. And while I feel like she's a victim of her own actions, some empathy and space does need to be held for whatever it is that she's experiencing and going through. But that empathy and space has to come from her castmates, the people who were actively affected by her, not us as the audience. Because again, we don't know her. She doesn't owe anything to us. And so I feel bad for her as a person outside of the show because she's going to have to deal with weird fans having weird interactions with her online for probably years to come over how she acted on the show. And she's going to feel like she has to explain herself to people who she does not need to explain herself to. And I could not imagine having to go through a mental health crisis in front of cameras, in front of others, and then have that broadcast to essentially the world. And so while I don't feel bad for her as a contestant because she did what she did, she affected who she affected, she chose to go on the show and do the things she did, and she has to be accountable for the actions that she committed even if her sense of reality was impaired. I can't feel bad for the contestant, but I feel bad for the person. And my hope is that us as the fans are able to give the space that Dollya needs to deal with all of this and not put pressure on her unnecessarily and be weird and parasocial towards her, because it's her castmates who are the ones who get to decide how they feel about this person. The ones who were actually affected, whose trust was broken, who feel like they lost a friend or they can't accept somebody for who they are, for what they're doing. Those are the people that get to feel however they want to feel. That being said, I think that she's on borrowed time as far as Dragula is concerned, and I don't think that we're going to see her come back next week.